Welcome to Dan's Crypto Adventures. Today we got another video continuing on with the R710 series. So this one is going to be swapping out the CPUs. So I bought this server here used on eBay, of course, probably a month or so ago at this point. And currently it came with a Xeon 5540, which is a quad-core 2.5 gigahertz chip, and there's two of those in there. But who wants that when you can have faster ones? So I got two Xeon 5675, which are 6-core 3 gigahertz chips. Again, two of those. I paid $60 for those, including shipping. So I felt like it was a pretty good deal. I got those. I haven't tried them out yet. I was frankly a little nervous when I got them, and they're just wrapped in this. So I was kind of nervous when I was unwrapping them, that they would just come this way. But one thing I realized is there's no pins on these. So this processor doesn't have any pins. So I'm used to seeing, 100 little pins popping up right there. So so there's nothing really to get bent over or that kind of thing. So So I've done consumer grade, built a ton of consumer grade PCs, never anything true server. So these definitely are new to me, but my understanding is the process is pretty much the same. So the first thing we got to do is shut this down. Then we got to take out the old ones. I'm going to reuse the heat sinks, so clean those off really well. I've got some razor blades and some rubbing alcohol that I can use for that. So let's get to work. So the first thing we got to do is shut down the current server. Well, actually, let me show you, just to kind of show you guys. I don't think I'm doing any kind of trickery here. So here is, right now there's Windows installed on this computer. So there is, this is what I've currently got. So again, the Xeon, well, that's not in focus at all, is it? Okay, that sort of goes. So there's two Xeon E5540 2.5 gigahertz. Those are 4 cores each. And again, there's two of them. So, alright, so now that you believe me as far as what CPU are in here, let's get started. First thing I'm going to do, obviously, is power down the server. So I'm going to do just that. So shut it down. And then once we can hear everything shut down, then we'll unplug it and open it up. So it should just take a minute. One thing I never get used to is how long it takes a server to turn on and shut down. It takes forever. Alright, so it's shut down. Before we open it up, we've got to unplug it. So this has dual power supply, so we got to unplug both power supplies. Then we need to hold down the power button. You do this so that it dissipates any leftover residual power that's on any components inside the system. So we got to do this. There's a light right there that I think is burnt out on this one, but it'll come on when you push the button, and then it'll kind of slowly dim out when all the power's gone. But if you hold it for 10-15 seconds, it's fine. So now we're going to open it up so we can get to the inside. And so I'm going to get kind of my stuff together and get organized, reposition the camera a little bit, and then we'll take a look at the inside. Okay, so now we've got the cover off. So this is what you see when you first take the cover off. So this is the fan shroud, so you got to get that out of the way. So we're going to set that way over there. The fans, you may not need to take these out, but I'm going to go ahead and take them out just so it's a little easier. So these little blue tabs here, just lift those straight up, and then this just raises up and out of the way. And so here are the two CPUs. So this right here on top is the CPU cooler, and the CPUs are down underneath. So we've got our new CPUs. We've got some thermal paste. I got at Best Buy. It was nothing special. It's the Thermaltake TG7. This is just what they had at Best Buy. I have no intention of overclocking. These aren't overclockable. These CPUs aren't overclockable anyway, but no intention of overclocking or anything crazy, so this should be fine. Then I got a razor blade to help clean off the bottom of the heat sinks, and some rubbing alcohol as well to clean off the heat sinks. So, I've never messed with these before. So I'm guessing I'm going to do this one right here first. There's these blue tabs on here. There's one here and there's one on this side. So it's probably got something to do with that. Okay, so you just, it's pretty easy. You push down and then kind of out. and then it lifts straight up. And so the one on this side you push down and out. So you push it down and away from the cooler, and then this probably just lifts right off. So bam, so it lifted right off. So there's the bottom, so there's all the thermal paste from the original. So I need to clean, that's what I need to clean off really well. So I'm going to set that aside. And then so right there is the CPU. So there's this little U-shaped lever here, so I'm going to undo that. And again, you push it down and away from the CPU, and then it lifts straight up. And then this little plate comes up, and then bam, now we got access to the CPU itself. Now I want to pay attention to how this is oriented. There's a little area right there, and it was sitting like this, pointing this way. So I need to remember that. The new CPU will fit, have an error in the exact same location, so I'll want to remember that. So there it is. So again, there's no pins on the bottom of these, which I'm just fascinated by that. I knew they existed, I knew they were around, but I never seen one before. So that is it. So I'm going to set that aside. Let's go ahead and take this one out too. Let's go ahead and do them at the same time. So exact same process. Now this chip is oriented differently. So this one, that arrow in the corner is right here. So it's pointing this direction right here. So set that aside. Now one thing is, my understanding, you got to be really careful about is make sure you get the exact same CPU. I bought these as a matched pair off eBay, so I could have gotten them a little less expensive. Basically, I know you can't. I'm sure you can't read this on the video there, but it says on here Intel Xeon. It says SLBYL, Costa Rica. Intel 09 X5675, 3.0 gigahertz, 12 megabytes. That's the cache. So they both say the exact same thing on the back here. So I'd be careful. Take your time to find some that match if you get them used, or get them as a pair like I did. Okay, so I can actually go ahead and set these in, because these tops are good and clean. Nothing to do there. So this will go in like so. So I got the arrow right there for this first one, pointing that way. So I just want to set it in place. Okay, so it fit in there easily. Don't need to push it, don't need to shove it. It should just drop right in. And then that plate closes. Now this arm right here, when you pull this back, there's a little hook right here that catches. See, this little plate right here has a little flat plate right there that goes down, and when you pull this back, there's a little bar that goes over it and holds that down. So that's what pulls the CPU down. Actually, I'm not going to put that in yet. There's a bunch of thermal paste all over this bracket right here, so I'm going to take that back out and clean this up a little bit. Alright, let's get some paper towels. Now I'm not rubbing, that. I'm only rubbing this bracket right here. It probably doesn't matter. There's thermal paste on it. It's just bugging me. So I think that's good. Let's check the other one while we're in here. Yeah, there's a little bit on that one too. Okay, so you can see all the black that came off. That was all on there. So those are, I feel pretty good about that being clean now. Now I did see a speck of dust over here a second ago. Let me grab my ear. So I've got compressed air tank sitting over there. So I've got some compressed air. So I'm not gonna get right down here and spray it. I'm gonna be back a little bit to, just in case there's any dust in here anywhere. I don't want it to be on the CPU, so that should be good. So now we can drop our CPU in. So again, got the air right there, which goes to this corner. So it easily drops in place. Let's put our plate down, then the bar. So now I'm going to push this bar down and then in towards the CPU in order to lock it in place. There we go. So that one is set. Same thing on the other one. Let's get it oriented correctly. You never touch the bottom. Only touch it by the sides like this. Again, we got that air right there, which we want it to go to this corner here. Now, if you ever put this in and it doesn't go in, these are directional. They obviously got to be oriented. But also, if you look on here, there's a little notch right there. There's one over here. There's notches on here as well. So it could actually not go in a different direction. It's pretty limited on how it can go in there. So that one is in good. So let's do BAM. And then again, do this lever, so you push it all the way down and then in towards the CPU. Alright, so now we're going to look at cleaning these guys off. And also, I'll use my compressed air to spray through there to get that really cleaned out. So again, I got a little razor blade here to help get some of that stuff off. So it's a brand new one, so I don't need to worry about, any dust or dirt or anything on it. I'm going to kind of be doing it over the server, so just don't want to drop anything on it. I remember go really slow. I don't want to be up and down. I'm not trying to get it clean with this. I just want to get the bulk of it off. You don't want to gouge the bottom of that with the knife, with this blade. You could very easily. So you can see it, it's a silver paste. So that's what we're trying to get all that off so we can put some new on there. Okay, so that's relatively clean. So I got a new paper towel, a little bit of the alcohol. Notice when I put the alcohol in here, it's not dripping off, it's just barely damp. So perfect. Okay, so that one is good. Let's move on to the other one. Now you guys may not be able to notice, but I'm going through paper towels like crazy. I'm not trying to use them more than one task. Okay. So I do want to get this blade pretty clean, so I'm going to use it for something else here in a second. So I want to get it pretty clean. So that one I'm throwing away. So again, if you're in doubt, get a new paper towel. A little more alcohol. So it's not that wet, it's barely damp. It's not dripping or anything like that. Okay. Alright, so I got my compressed air again. So I'm going to shoot between these fins. Any dust that's in there, you know, I want to try to get that out. You probably can't see it, but a big cloud of dust just shot up. So that one's good. Here is the first one. Another big cloud of dust. Alright, so those are good. So let's get these paper towels out of the way. Alright, so now is when we're going to use our thermal paste. So we're going to put a little bit here in the middle, and then we're going to use the razor blade to spread it out a little bit. So we want a thin coat over the whole thing. And start, you know, about yay big. Put your cap back on. Nowhere near enough. I don't think anyway. So I had a really hard time spreading with that blade, and then I remembered in the packaging that it came with this little tool. Seems like it'd be a much easier angle to spread, so let's give that a try. It's much easier. Okay, so it's not perfect. It goes all the way around. When I put the heatsink on there, it will squish it out. It's got, you know, almost every bit of it's covered. You know, I'm not going to be, again, I'm not overclocking or anything crazy like that. So I think it's good enough. So now I don't remember how this thing went on there. I think it went like this. I could be wrong, but we'll try it. So there's a little bracket right there that I think sat right there. And the same, this piece I think sat under this guy. So let's try it. So you don't want to reposition it, you want to go straight down. So it's set in place. So again, now we're going to push the blue thing down and then towards the center. So I did one side, I'm trying to hold it with the other hand, and then the other side, and bam, it's in. Alright, well, my camera totally died. So anyway, so I have put this the second CPU back in there exactly the same way, exact same thing I did on the first one. I used the same tools, I used the same thermal paste and the same little thingy here, thingamajig. So it is all back together. So now we can put it back together, turn it on, and see what happens. So first thing is the fan that just drops right in there. Hard to do one-handed. And then put down the levers. Then we need our shroud. Oops, it's backwards. Shroud's back on there. Now we can put our cover on. Should be fun one-handed. And then lock it. Now plug it back in. It's got 2 power connections, so we got to do both. Well, we don't have to do both, but it's nice to do both. There it goes. So let's let it turn on and see what happens. Alright, well the server has booted up. Nothing burst into flames and no error messages or anything like that. So yeah, it's actually went pretty easy actually. So let's turn, so the server's on obviously. Let's go into in this PC and make sure that everything's showing up correctly. So yep, so showing the X5675, 3 gigahertz, 2 of them. So those are showing up in there. So seems to be working good. So let's see. I always like going into here and seeing all the CPU list. I always think that's cool to see that. So I forget where it is. Processors. I always love seeing that long list there. Anyway. So yeah, so it looks like it was a success. I do apologize for the camera. Shit happens. So the battery died, so I had to go to my phone to wrap up this video, but that's it. So we successfully changed out the CPU, so really excited. So anyway, give me a subscribe and a like if you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next one.